Welcome to an Asset Information Management Series presentation. Today I want to talk about why configuration management is central to your digital twin strategy. My name's Ollie Long. I'm a Senior Business Development Manager at Bentley Systems. So I know many people have asked you this question, and but it is so important. Do you have engineers that are in the field without the information they need? You can imagine the implications on safety and efficiency there. Have you witnessed re-engineering or downtime due to incorrect lacking information? Really, these questions were asked a long time ago and they were solved with configuration management. Who are they solved by? And what is configuration management? Fundamentally, it was the lessons learned from safety critical industries, such as nuclear or aeronautics. Fundamentally, they had to implement incredible safety measures and reliability for their industry to succeed. But what they found is implementing things like configuration management on information is that they gained significant benefits in reliability and overall efficiency of their organizations. And past that, they realized that they could make that next level in providing this accurate and complete information and support complete decision-making processes across the organization. So how do you achieve configuration management? We'll put this into 3 steps. 1, you start with a very clear and robust specification. That specification details the information that you need and, most importantly, how it must be related together. Then, once you have the information, you implement change management to ensure that all that information always remains up to date. So let's go into that first step, the specification. If information is delivered against clearly defined requirements, then often you get the information you need. It then provides consistency across your organization or your assets and facilities and provides a single process, therefore requirements for all of your assets lifecycle stages. A successful specification has to be owned by a centralized information management discipline. I've mentioned this in an earlier presentation, the importance of this. It must be clear and robust and also version controlled. It should also provide incremental steps for delivery, not an all-seeing, all-go kind of concept. Focus on those most critical areas first, and then you'll be able to deliver the best practice. Next is what is to the heart of that specification. It's requesting and requiring configured and related information, and that must take place throughout the life cycle, building the information as you go along. And that means from all the way from the initial requirements as to what that asset must do, all the way through design, construction, operations, and decommissioning. But also it's key is to understand you must specify relationships between the objects, not just those objects and their attributes. For example, a requirement on its own with its attributes is of limited use unless it's associated to the tags and the assets that fit that bill. So look here at what I mean. So you take a requirement, an object with some attributes, a piece of text explaining what's needed, and you build it out because a project must deliver those requirements. That then builds out with further standards as to what must be delivered, and then a design takes place with lots of documents and data from P&IDs, data sheets, all the engineering information, as well as a hierarchy of tags or components. Then the physical items appear, they get constructed, picked off the shelf, and all of their information must be supplied as well as throughout that life cycle, the inspection history, the work orders, and so on. So once you have that information model, the key is is then to add change management processes. Change management understands what is affected by the change. It is not just around applying a process, an auditable log. It's using those relationships. And I'll show you that in the next slide about why relationships are so important for change management. It's of course important to provide that auditable process to look back at the history of changes. But the most important part of it is that the organization trusts your information. They know the process is there to ensure the correct information is always available to them in operations. So let's look back at that information model. Of course, we have a rich relationships now between our information. And so therefore, let's say if P&ID changes due to a design change, we can now track and understand what is actually going to be affected by that change. Maybe a standard might have to be understood and looked at, or a new standard used. We know that maybe this change in P&ID might mean the equipment on site will have to be swapped out, and therefore you understand what data must be changed or replaced and information around this change. And it's that relationships that give you that analytics, if you like, to understand what must change during this process. Configuration management can be described very simply by a triangle. At the top of the triangle is thinking about what was required to be there. Information that's not often captured, but it is incredibly important. Why is it there? What was required? Then understanding what actually is there. What is your physical configuration? Maybe that's gained by inspections or capturing the information right at the start. But of course, it's what is it we say is there, and ensuring that there's a link between all three and all three stay correct and linked together. And keeping all of that up to date and trusted takes the process of change management, and that is central to keeping the triangle in place. So what does this have to do with digital twins? Well, think about poor configuration management. It starts with a physical asset being built, and maybe your specification is good, but isn't really focused on the understanding of a full configuration of your plant. What tends to happen is that the physical asset slowly differs from your digital asset. And so when you enter operations, there's a difference between the two. And every time those differences are found, the information is not trusted. And it doesn't matter what change that takes place, it never reflects the plant itself. With full configuration management, you get digital integrity. Therefore, as the physical asset gets built, the specifications request the right information in the right configuration so that you have an exact replication of the physical plant as a digital asset. And therefore, in operations, any changes that take place will always match the plant that you have. So fundamentally, configuration management is crucial to a digital twin. It provides a complete picture of your asset, its configuration, data, documents, as well as any visual representation. It ensures that it's trusted by keeping it current and provides therefore the foundations for analytics and engineering change. So in summary, configuration management is therefore this foundation to a digital twin. It must be based on a clear and robust specification, as well as a stringent change management process throughout operations to ensure all the up-to-date information is available and trusted. Thank you for listening. Please take a look at our YI portal for other presentations on similar subjects. Also, please listen to our asset performance keynote, Think Big, Prove Small, and Scale Fast.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.